And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Open Connection. I'm your host, Robert Pictou. Before the advent of industrial design, cabinet makers were responsible for the conception and production of any piece of furniture. With the Industrial Revolution, mass production techniques were gradually applied to nearly all aspects of cabinet making. On today's Open Connection, we open our archives to bring you this story from 1990.
From a career as a speculation builder, Renny Vieno has become one of a new breed in the Northwest, an independent entrepreneur whose definition of success doesn't include the word expansion. Vieno devotes long hours and energy to his woodwork and considers his independence as important as financial gain. His partner and only assistant is wife Ella.
We want to stay as we are, me and her, and that's it. We don't want to go
just a small business. We don't want
to go farther than that. We see what's going on. Otherwise, if you got employees, well, the qualities go down. Some people have been asking me to build for their store. But I don't want that. I won't be meeting the customer. I like what I'm doing, and I like to meet the customer. I like to talk to them. I like to plan with them, whatever they want. If I would be doing it for a store, I'll be meeting the store owner, and that's it. And I won't know nothing about what's going on. I won't even know where my furniture is going.
Nail and needlecraft started out, as many such businesses do, with the husband in the garage and the wife keeping house. This worked for a while, but when Renny began spending most of his time in the shop, Ella came out to help and wound up an equal partner.
Well, she's better than me. As simple as that. She's better than me at it. And I think I done so much sanding on it. At the end, you kind of, get fed up with it a little bit, maybe. I don't know. And you're not thinking I don't know if that's well, she's better than me, and that's it.
And I really like to do it. I really enjoy doing it. So kind of like the feel of the wood and all that. So it's something I'm enjoying to do. Maybe that's one reason. Maybe he had worked too long on it and he just tired of it. So by the time he handed it to me, I just knew for me. So from there, I just keep on working on it until I feel it's right.
The Vienos don't advertise. They have all the orders they can handle, and they aren't interested in becoming a household name, although they may already be, judging by the number of first-time customers that commission furniture.
I got some stuff in Japan and in Australia. I got these people that been buying some stuff and sending it away. For
gifts?
For gifts, yeah.
For Renny, the challenge is not only building a perfect piece of furniture, it's fitting the piece to the home and to the customer's lifestyle.
Most of the time, the customer bring their own design plan, and we design together, whatever they want. See, they come here and they have a little plan or a magazine or a picture, snapshot, and I work from that. I don't work from any plan. It's just their own plan or their picture that I work from. And by talking together, I find out what they really want, and that's how I work. It's always me. It's always, all the time. Whenever I sell a piece in the showroom, I got new idea already. And if it stays there too long, we'll bring it in the basement and leave it there and put a new one in there. It's always news. We got books and books and books piled up high, and I'm going through that. And when we're going across the United States next spring, we're going to come back with a load of ideas. So it's always, that's what's interesting. It's not always the same thing. That's why I don't want to go in series.
In addition to the challenge of customizing furniture, Renny only works with solid woods. He carefully hides all screws he might use underneath plugs of the same type of wood. Where he can, he joins the finished parts with glue and wooden pegs. He never uses nails or pressed board. If Vieno doesn't have the color or wood that you want, he'll order it, but he prefers to work with oak.
It's stronger because oak furniture is for life. Like cedar is soft, it's a soft wood. I'm doing it, I'm working on cedar for a certain project, but I cannot do it all. Like oak chest I will, a couple of in oak and cedar and birch and pine for oak chests. But the furniture like that one there that you'll be seeing there, it's I rather have in oak. And it's depends on what the customer has to. If they want oak, and people are asking for oak. And walnut, a little bit of walnut and cherry.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Thanks for staying with us. Even though high-quality wooden furniture is naturally durable, you still need to maintain pieces to keep them looking like new for a long time. Wood furniture preservation doesn't need to be time-consuming. It mainly involves careful cleaning. Let us return to the archives to discover how Ella puts on the finishing touches.
When Rennie is finished, he passes the piece to Ella. In her workroom, Ella sands and oils and then puts on a coat of protective wax.
If it would be just walnut, probably 5 would be enough, but because of the pine in there, pine will absorb a little bit more than the walnut, so maybe I'll have to give an extra coat for that.
And when the person has it in their home, will they still have to brush it with oil as well?
No, they probably, maybe once in a while, but just like you do with your other furniture, just, oil your table. And that's because after everything is finished, we put a coat of wax on it. That's the finishing touch. After we think it's the way we want it, then we put some wax on it. And that protect them for...
As Ella became more involved, Rennie began to branch into different areas. He built a showroom next to his workshop and let Ella fill it with crafts and specialty items. Most of the displays are handmade by Northwest craftspeople. Rennie makes the miniature furniture for children and dolls, and Ella orders old-fashioned dolls to demonstrate the little fixings. Some of the more popular craft items are Ella's personalized Christmas stockings. Another is toll painting. This traditional oil and acrylic painting originated in Germany. Artists would paint over tin bottles and boxes to create a functional piece of art. Toll painting is now becoming popular in North America, and after an introductory course at the college last year, Ella is organizing classes and already selling her own work.
Well, it's something that I would have liked to do a long time ago, but the time, I didn't have the time to do it. And then one class came through the college, but they didn't have enough people that registered to keep on going. So I took a few classes, and after that, well, there was nothing coming. So I decided, well, I'm going to try to put one on. I think anybody can learn paint. If I can learn it, everybody can. I never touched paintbrush until last year. So, if I can do it, I think anybody can do it. They should try it if they feel that it's something they'd like to learn. The work is the furniture. The rest is relaxing. Like when I'm doing my cross stitch, it's something to relax with. Painting is something that I want to learn for a long time, so it's something new for me.
The Viennos are still surprised by the success of their work. Neither Rennie nor Ella think they've done anything exceptional and are too modest to call themselves craftspeople or artists.
I think you just learn from everything. I don't think anybody is, some people are born very artistic, but I mean, some other people have to work at it, and just, that's the way I feel. I don't think I had any talent or anything, but it just came.
Where do you get the ideas for some of the innovative items we see in your gift shop?
2 years ago, we went across Canada, as far as New Brunswick, and every little craft shop on the side of the road, we stopped and look at them. And from there, you get ideas, and then it's not the same thing, but from their idea, you get something that you can do, and we really did enjoy it. It was something really, really nice to do.
What do your children and your grandchildren think of all this? Are they interested? Do you think that they will follow in what might become a family tradition?
I got one of my youngest grandchildren, 8 years old.
He's 9. He just turned 9. Yeah, he just turned 9.
I give him all kind of stuff, and a screwdriver and nails and boards and whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's quite happy in the shop. He comes here and he goes in the shop.
He likes it.
Like the other one won't go in the shop.
He's the only one that I got hold of.
He would stay with me here, and he'd rather look at me when I'm doing some sewing than look at his grandpa, trying to work a piece of wood.
Unlike a typical business, Rennie and Ella are not trying to bank a mint or build an empire. If their grandchildren decide to take up the hammer and chisel, both would be pleased, not just to see their workshop flourish for another generation, but because their children's children might find the same happiness and fulfillment that they have found.
I think it's the people that have made the business what it is now, because the demand that he has, like, you know, they would come in and say, would you do this? And then we'll try to do it, you know, and they are the one actually that made our business in a way, because we didn't know what we were doing.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome back to Open Connection. Moore's Law is a term used to refer to the observation made by Gordon Moore in 1965 that a number of transistors in a dense integrated circuit doubles every 2 years. Let us return to the archives to discover how technology changed how we lived in the 90s.
You'll be able to do your banking, you'll be able to do your shopping, airline reservations, because this, in effect, is a computer.
The forum phone that's so much smaller, and it'll be the size of a silver dollar, and you'll have it as an implant in 5 years. Satellite dish. And it's the size of a fiberglass cafeteria serving tray.
What's it worth?
$200.
Technology. We're dealing with it more and more and understanding it less and less.
Good morning. I'm just going out on a short service call. I should be back soon. Please leave a message and I'll call you back when I get in.
Answering machine, fancy telephones, getting a CD. Just like everybody else, got to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Remote control. I got a VCR, compact disc player. You name it, I got it.
Most people are marketed to, and they see the latest widget and gadget, and they go out and buy it. They don't really understand the technical underpinnings of it. If it breaks, it usually is just so much block of metal that they throw away. How many houses have you gone into where the VCR is sitting there with the clock going 12 o'clock, flashing because they don't know how to set it?
As far as the technology behind it, no, I wouldn't know how to operate everything.
I don't even have to read the instructions. They've made them user-friendly, and any idiot can do it. I'm proof.
At Simon Fraser University, a primitive robot takes some very shaky first steps. It doesn't look like much now, but according to the inventor, robotics research is leading to bigger, better, and more practical things.
You want to be able to go somewhere where you can't go with a wheeled vehicle. And there are all sorts of applications, vacuuming the house and climbing stairs, just some of them, working in agricultural fields, exploring on Mars, planting trees in the forest, all these sorts of things. So, yes, that's what we ultimately want to accomplish.
Margaret Prevost knows all about the practical side of technology. This motorized wheelchair has greatly improved the quality of her life. For handicapped people, technology has many practical applications. It gives them mobility and makes the impossible possible. Even the insurmountable, like living in a second-story suite, can be achieved.
Then say I go back to this position, try doing a turn like that, and save it, turn it a bit more, and save it.
But for most of us, technology belongs in a research lab, like this one at Simon Fraser University, where a computer program is used to choreograph dancers. Not too practical, but part of the ever-growing use of computers for virtually everything.
Computers are becoming ubiquitous. They're just everywhere in everything we do. And the computer controls the phone system, the computer controls the heating system in your house. Yes, I suppose the HAL of, was it 2001, was it? Yes, that's possible. Something along those lines is certainly possible. Certainly voice input and voice output are becoming quite common.
The computerized house is already here, complete with a coffee machine that turns itself on and a washer that starts up when electricity rates are lowest. AISI Industries has developed this computer chip link-up for every household electrical item. House lights and alarms go on by themselves.
Hi, Mom.
Philip, hi. I'm stuck here, and I'm going to need you to put dinner in the oven at 4 o'clock.
But, Mom, I got soccer practice at 3, you know.
That's okay. Just put the dinner in the oven before you leave, and I can take care of the rest from here.
Okay, Mom. Thanks. See you in a few.
A simple call using a touch-tone phone does it all. The oven is set to the right temperature and time. And when the working day's over, the busy executive can drive home knowing the lights will be on when she gets there and dinner's ready to serve.
You know, if you want, you can spend money to go out, you can spend money at home and enjoy what you have. So I say you better pay something, some gadget at home and stay at home and enjoy it, you know.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
In 1894, Arthur Sicard witnessed a grain thresher at work in a wheat field and began to wonder if a similar device could be used to clear snow. 30 years later, the Sicard snow remover snowblower began clearing snow off the streets of Montreal. In this final segment of Open Connection, we return to the archives to see how the Public Works Department at Kitmat deals with snow.
The majority of the people are called out early in the morning, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, depending on the severity of the storm, and they'll carry on until the end of their regular shift at 4:30. The other group, if it should be necessary, carries on for the rest of the evening, or will be called out during the evening, depending when the snowstorm starts.
Last winter, when the total accumulation was less than what fell up to mid-February this year, it cost $850,000 to keep the town moving. And move it must, with the aluminum smelter, the pulp mill and the petrochemical plant all operating continuously. One of the biggest problems the snow crews face is not what falls, but what's put out in the streets.
People shoveling their driveways onto the street, that is causing our equipment working twice as hard, and as well, after we went through 2 or 3 times, we still end up going back to clean up piles of snow that residents put out on the street.
Statistics show there's less snow than there used to be. There may be less snow, but crews have more trouble clearing it. After 32 years with the municipality, Bernardi knows the reason. It's the invention of that great homeowner's helper, the snow scoop.
Well, we were fortunate in those days, so we didn't have scoops. We only had showers, therefore they didn't have that much snow from the drivers on the streets. But the rest of it, we had our problems in the past. We just forgot them, that's all.
So the new technology, these great big snow scoops, that's caused you the most problem?
Certainly are.
Even graders have trouble getting around some streets after the scoops have been out in force.
That's right. I agree with that. They should have never invented those things.
There is a snow clearing policy, copies of which are delivered to every home. The problem is, not everyone sticks to it, as this resident is doing. Although Kitmat has never lost a piece of equipment in the snow, an employee did go missing.
Well, not lately, but we did lose one in the past years while he was sanding in the back of the pickup by hand.
He just disappeared.
Well, the driver only found out once he got to the yard that he didn't have the man that he started with it. He had to go back and pick him up on the road.
There are 7 snow blowers, 4 loaders, 5 graders, 4 trackless vehicles, 2 truck plows, and 4 sanding trucks to be kept running. and the mechanics work 16 to 18 hours a day during snowstorms to keep them all going. And just what level of snow clearing is acceptable to the people who live in the Valley of the Snows?
Nothing's acceptable to the resident but blacktop. They love blacktop, and I don't blame them. I think they're quite right by wanting the blacktop, and we use a lot of salt, and that's the way we get the blacktop.
And speaking of salt, they average 500 to 600 tons of salt and 700 to 800 tons of sand each year in snow clearing operations. Newcomers have been known to get a bit nervous, but long-time residents remember one of the bad years, the winter of 71-72, when 1,066 centimeters, that's more than 34 feet, fell on the town. The record for the most snowfall in 24 hours was also set on February 18th, 1972, 112.3 centimeters or 44 inches in just one day. Grieve came back from a weekend in Vancouver to find conditions were pretty bad.
And when I got back, it was completely tied up. Everything was the scar sitting in an albatross all over the place. All you could see was some of them, the antenna sticking in the air. And I can recall just right at the front of the yard here, there's a car parked there, and the blower come along and took the rear bumper off it and took the back end out of the car, and nobody could see it. We couldn't blame the operator because there was no indication there was a car there.
There's only one piece of equipment in the district garage that's been working for Kitmat longer than Grieve, and that's number 11 snowblower, a blower that was originally bought from Alcan in 1954. It takes days to clear up after a snowstorm, and one problem is, if it gets too deep, roofs have to be shoveled off. Both homes and from bus shelters, or they might just collapse like this storage shed. Another long-term district employee, Emil Gutenecht, says he just can't see what everyone's problem is with the snow.
I don't really know. They figure everybody should have the street done at the same time, I guess. I don't know what really their problem is. I don't see any. I haven't got any complaints. I've always made it to work. I've been here 34 years. I've never pushed any snow out on the street. Everybody else can't seem to do that. I don't know why.
Residents try different ways of foiling the snowblowers. Each of the big machines needs two operators, one to drive, the other to operate the snow chute. And they're always being accused of deliberately blowing snow on one side of the street only. Kitmat residents have even resorted to parking kids on top of snowbanks to keep the blowers away.
Yes, they used to do a lot of that. Not as much anymore because we haven't had any snow, but one time there was lots of that going on.
The best thing to do is just relax and enjoy it all like the kids. There's only been 6.5 meters since November. Not a great deal when you consider that the village of Stewart has 2 meters on the ground right now, and winter is a long way from being over.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Open Connection. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but the connection from his mind to his heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.